Hi, my name is Finn Hammersley, and welcome to this week's episode of the Voynich Manuscript podcast. Today I'm joined by...
Talitha!
It feels so good to be out of the basement.
Get the basement! And today we're talking about the disappearance of Frederick Valentich. Alright, so have either of you heard of this case?
Nope.
No.
I have no inclination as to what it is.
I don't really have access to the internet in the basement.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no.
I make sure of that. Don't want you
You
getting
do
any
have
ideas.
access to a good wooden broom that you get hit with.
Yeah.
And then have to sweep the floors with.
And then I have to
Yeah.
thank them for it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Then you might get your oatmeal.
Oatmeal. That's the true punishment of it.
Yeah, who cares
just-
about being
it-
locked in the basement? You get oatmeal. Ugh.
It's just like candy to me now.
Is there any flavoring in it, or is it just
No,
is it
no,
just,
it's just-
oatmeal
just
and water?
plain.
Is it
Water?
water or
Not
milk?
even water.
No, just raw oats.
Yeah, just dry oatmeal.
Oh yeah. He has to chew it to make it oatmeal. Got it.
Yeah. All right, so this is an Australian one actually, and it occurred to me about 10 minutes before we started recording that 2 out of the 3 that we'll be recording in this session are Australian.
Yeah,
So
it's Aussies.
This is the Aussie day.
yeah, no, a bit.
Aussie.
Oi. So, 20-year-old Australian pilot Frederick Valentich has been flying for 2 years, accumulating over 150 hours of solo flying time. He hired a plane from Southern Air Services from Moorabbin, Australia. He had dreams of one day becoming a commercial pilot, and at 6:19 p.m. on October 21st, 1978, he took off from Moorabbin Airport near Melbourne in a Cessna 182 light aircraft.
Cessna.
Cessna?
It's a very common lightweight aeroplanes, but a lot of them tend to crash if the wind's too strong.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll have to add that into the thing very aptly named crash theory that you can see on that Brenden can see on my document.
Try not to read it, trust me. I just looked at it, it was like Cessna, and I'm like, that's Cessna.
Proving me, if you prove me wrong again, I will put
Put you
more
back to
shackles on you. No more episodes for you. No more sunlight for you.
No more porridge either.
It'll just be the vitamin D supplements.
God damn it.
So, Friedrich planned to fly west for 40 minutes along the Australian coast. At Cape Otway, he would head south over Bass Strait towards King Island. It was a route he had flown many times before. However, while flying over Bass Strait near Cape Otway, he sighted what he claimed to be a UFO flying near in the vicinity.
Of course.
Yeah, this
Actually, no, that is reasonable. I just realised UFO just means unidentified flying object, and he's in a plane, of course, it's got to be UFOs.
yeah, but this is like UFOs and spaceships and shit.
So if you didn't know
God
what a
damn.
plane was, and you saw a plane flying over,
He's a pilot.
would you like consider that a UFO because you don't know?
If you saw a particularly strange-looking bird, you
Yeah.
could call that a
a
UFO.
UFO? Yeah.
I mean, you could. At the same
Exactly.
time, why would you? If you knew it
Well,
was
it's an unidentified flying object.
But it's just I just looked through my episode list and realized this is my first Alien episode.
Is
my
it?
first. Yeah.
What?
it's
No.
amazing.
Wasn't there the Hopkinsville?
Th-
What?
They were goblins.
Yeah,
Oh,
no. There was also what? Weren't they convinced they came from like outer space or something? Am I misremembering this?
Nah, a bit. Like one of the theories was that they were aliens, but this is the first one that I'm like, this is a mystery about aliens. So,
Okay. Okay.
We're special, Talitha.
Yeah. You guys are a
That's
first.
one.
Yeah. So, upon seeing it, he maintained radio contact with Melbourne Air Services for several minutes, describing it as it darted and swerved around him. It appeared to be green and long-shaped. Long-shaped?
Right,
This is copy and pasted from an article, so...
Are you sure he wasn't just looking at the bottom of a plane?
I mean, that is a theory that I'll get into
I'm
soon.
sure there wasn't a time traveler that came back with a drone to just
Are you
fuck
sure? Are you sure it wasn't a working TARDIS trying to blend in?
That chameleon circuit's actually working for once.
Yeah, for once.
Watch Doctor Who this morning. Anyway, he stated that it was... he stated that it was travelling at speeds faster than he had ever seen before. The air traffic controller believed that he was... concerned about it. At one point, it was even chasing him and playing some sort of game above his planes. And all of a sudden, the UFO disappeared.
Look, I just got to say, it was flying faster than he has ever seen before. It was flying a bloody Cessna. They don't go too fast.
Yeah.
They're more for just cruising, you know.
Give me a sec. I know one of them. I meant to write down which one, but one of my references actually had the
model and make.
No, the manuscript of what Valentich and the air flight control said to each other.
I
just think it's funny.
That up.
It's faster than I've ever seen before. Just flying a plane that doesn't go too fast.
Yeah. And this was like what, 78? Was it? Did you say?
78.
I don't imagine they quite broke the speed of sound at that point.
Give me a second. I have to disable my ad blocker for this website.
And then I mean, jet. It could be like a jet that they'll test it out. You know, let's have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Was it small or was it big?
He said a long.
He said long, but that's all.
Long has a lot of. That's very subjective. You could have it could just be that it was like oblong shaped, and that's what he meant by long shaped, quote unquote.
As long as you didn't call it fat. I mean, that's shaming the object.
So I've got open the manuscript for what he said, and he described it as flying past. It's a long shape. Open microphone for 3 seconds. Cannot identify more than that. That it has such a speed. Open microphone for 3 more seconds. Before me right now, Melbourne. How large would the object be? It seems like it's stationary. What I'm doing right now is orbiting the thing. Just orbiting on top of me. It's got a green light and sort of a metallic light. It's all shiny on the outside. And then Melbourne tried to get back in contact with him. He then replied, open microphone for 5 more seconds. It just vanished.
Huh.
Are we sure he wasn't on any hallucinogenic?
Yeah.
It's
not an LSD or something.
I did shrooms before he went in the plane. You know,
in none of my research, that I could find anything mentioning drugs, so I doubt it.
He did say open mic for 3 seconds a lot, though.
Shut up.
This is gonna be a stupid question.
That's what this podcast is about.
This is going to be a stupid answer.
Yeah. With your excellent power of the internet at your fingers.
Yep.
Because I don't have a computer in front of me right now. When was the first drone created?
I guess it depends what you mean by drone.
Drone.
Any kind of drone, including
like
military
flying drone.
Yeah, flying drone.
The first modern drone is developed in 1935.
Okay. After it. However, oh wait, no, this is Australia. I was about to say, I'm sure Area 51 would have had a few in stock before then.
Few fingers and a few pies.
The drone kind of
Must
looks like a
have.
biplane with no one to drive it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's cute.
I really wish it mentioned just how big it was, because I don't know whether this thing is tiny, whether it's bigger than his plane, whether it's the same size.
Well,
What's the relativity?
I remember this. This is like a year ago when I found out about this mystery. Like I remember them mentioning, and I couldn't find a source of this, but they mentioned it was about the same size as the aircraft.
Okay. Okay. And
but,
how big
yeah.
is this Cessna, was it? Plane?
Cessna.
Cessna. How big?
Cessna 182. Do you want
Cessna
to get a
182.
picture of it?
Shut the fuck up. I'm not recording.
For some context, listeners, Craig, our recording bot, just killed himself. So
Yeah. Craig decided he didn't want to be part of this podcast, and
he peaced out.
In the middle of us theory blasting, he kind of just, was like, you know what? I'm up and out. I don't need to be here, but he does because he's recording.
Yeah.
And because of this prick, we've lost our train of thought.
Exactly.
Craig decided he didn't want to be part of the Alcoholic Anonymous club, and
Well, it's not a choice, Craig.
I know it's not a choice, is it?
He's addicted to alcohol because we force him to drink it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And then we force him to go to therapy for it.
Exactly. We sit him down and tie him to the chair.
Yeah.
We gain immense pleasure from this.
Exactly. Just like Finn gained immense pleasure from me in the basement.
Correct. That sounds really bad.
We're keeping that in. We are keeping that statement in.
Get that on a t-shirt. Finn gets immense pleasure from Brenden in the basement.
I mean, why else would you put him in there?
Exactly.
Where else would he be?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
Right.
Stay in the basement.
I'm trying to live my life, but no, that's not going to happen.
Not anymore.
No. Enjoy your porridge.
I'm your wife now.
He owns my life.
Alright, let me just continue on with the script, and then we can, thanks to fucking Craig, we can find our train of thought again.
Yeah.
Alright. So, a few seconds after Frederick stated he was the craft was chasing him and playing games, the object after it disappeared, a few seconds later, the object returned from the southwest. Suddenly, Frederick's engine started malfunctioning. Finally, he stated, "That strange aircraft is hovering on top of me. Again, it's hovering, and it's not an aircraft." Those were the last words before a large metallic noise.
Thanks for the description.
A large metallic noise before and a mysterious clicking noise, and then no more noises were heard from him or his plane, and he was never seen or heard from again.
It's hovering and it's not an aircraft. It explains a lot. But he's really giving us the details here.
Quick question.
Yes.
No.
Once again, utilizing the wonderful power of the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are the known Australian military bases
near Cape Otway?
Around that area, yeah. Do you think he entered like a restricted zone?
Bases near where?
Cape Otway.
Cape Otway.
Oh, how do you spell that?
Otway.
O-T-O.
Yeah.
O-T-W-A-Y. RAAF Amberley.
Royal Australian Air Force Amberley.
Yeah. Their base is...
that's in Queensland. That's nowhere near Cape Otway.
Oh. No, this is Victoria.
No, let me look up where Cape Otway is, because I might be getting confused.
Cape Otway.
It's in southern Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on. It's on. It's like one of from
List of
Russia, one of the
military
most
bases.
southern points.
We'll have a look on
I don't know
the
whether
most
in
reliable one,
retrospect,
Wikipedia.
What was
I
it?
don't know in retrospect if they'd still list the restricted
There's
flying zones, but
Defence Plaza, Melbourne, Swan Island, Victoria Barracks, Melbourne.
Barracks.
Sorry.
Barack Obama in Melbourne.
Army
Barack
bases.
Obama.
There's a lot of army bases there, but we'd be looking at Royal Australian Air Force for it. Victoria got the base East Sale, base Williams and Point Cook, and base Williams and Laverton.
Does it list if there's any restricted flying areas?
Restricted flying areas.
Well, it'd have to be in the 1970s. You might struggle finding
1978. I don't know whether I just don't know whether they'd list it in retrospect or if it'd still be considered a bit.
I feel like they would have tried to contact him though. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah. This is just an out of pocket theory.
just completely out of context. Looking at Cape Otway, it's actually a very pretty looking area.
Yeah, it's not a bad little area. Yeah, pretty nice.
Send a photo. I want to see.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I will.
Protected airspaces in Victoria.
You know what?
It doesn't really say, but I feel like if it was a military base, they would have tried to contact to give them a warning before firing anything at them. So I don't really think it would have been a military base thing. I'm sticking with the hallucinogenics.
Why? Every time I do this podcast, someone goes to drugs.
It makes the most sense.
Well,
you see an object appearing and disappearing, and then it's flying, it's hovering, but it's not an aircraft.
But that doesn't explain why his engines cut out, unless he was too inebriated to continue to operate the plane.
He accidentally turned the aircraft off.
Damn, aircraft machine broke.
He was like too busy focusing on the aircraft that he's like accidentally flicked the off switches.
Yeah.
All right.
They would have definitely heard him falling if they were still on what's it called, radio with him.
I'm pretty sure of the rate. It's implied that the radio cut out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you turned it off, maybe the radio lost power, couldn't contact.
But yeah, neither the plane nor the pilot were ever found.
Hey, that reminds me of some other plane.
That reminds me
Lost.
Flight 370.
I'm going to stick with Lost.
Lost?
Yeah.
The plane from Lost, Flight 370.
Potato.
Yeah. The Lost is actually based off of Flight 370, if you didn't know.
The more you know.
Yeah.
When were EMPs created?
They've kind of... EMPs are just a thing when... isn't it when too much...
Electromagnetic. It like cuts out electricity.
It's an electromagnetic pulse.
Isn't it when a conductor gets too much charge and releases it all at once?
Yeah. So it was like created. It was happened when like electricity was created, but like as a bomb or something like that. You mean?
Yeah, as a weaponry type thing or a defensive type
as a weaponry type thing. I think they kind of started weaponizing it. It
says EMPs were first noticed in the 50s when electronic equipment failed because of an inducted currents and voltages during nuclear testing.
But I don't think
in the 60s, the potential vulnerability of US military equipment and weapon systems to EMPs were officially recognized. So 60s.
So 60s, but I don't think Australia had.
Yeah, Australia's a bit behind the times, so probably in the 80s was when we got it.
Australia's military didn't have as much as all the other militaries because we're not trying to fight every single country that's around.
We're everyone's mate.
We're just like, kind of have to join because Britain decided to get into another fight.
Woo!
Kind of legally.
That's how it usually goes.
Go my country.
Finn's just celebrating English pride right now.
Yeah. All right. So, an extensive water search began for Frederick and his plane. However, no trace of either were ever found. Later, a witness who remains anonymous came forward. He claimed that he was traveling with his family when they noticed unusual activity in the sky. He saw a lime green light flying about 100 feet above a small aircraft. Both flew closer and closer to each other before both of them disappeared from his view.
And they're in hallucinogenics as well.
Not everything is drugs.
Victoria
Yes.
Melbourne
Ultimate.
is actually, I think, heroin capital of Australia.
That doesn't surprise me.
Is it
So,
heroin
yeah.
capital?
I thought it was.
It's like meth and...
I thought it was Byron
No.
Bay.
No, it's meth and heroin capital.
No, Sydney is definitely ice capital.
No, it's Sydney's ice capital, but like meth and heroin is
I've never been to Melbourne, so I don't know. But
I think it was stated, I think, last year about it.
Isn't ice meth?
Probably, I don't know.
Crystal meth, yeah, ice.
Yeah, crystal meth, but like actual, just normal meth, not crystallized.
Normal meth.
Just you got your regular, you got your
regular meth, you got your crystal meth, and here's your disco meth.
Crocodilio meth.
Actually, wasn't that the main plotline in the first season of that shit show Paradise PD?
Yeah, I didn't really watch it.
Oh shit! You just unlocked a memory. I watched like an episode of that.
Yeah, I pretty much watched an episode of my
I think I watched the first season, and then I didn't watch any of like season 2 or 3.
I feel like they tried too hard to be funny.
I forgot that existed. If any of our listeners enjoy Paradise PD, I'm sorry.
You're not a listener anymore.
Leave us a 5-star rating in iTunes, telling us about your views on Paradise PD.
Oh yes. Go into lengthy detail in the comments.
Comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends, and make sure to mention Paradise PD.
Leave us an absolute essay. I want a 3-page essay of why you like Paradise.
No, not 3-page. I want a thesis. I want you to break down every
50,000 words.
I want a full Harry Potter novel series.
Mm-hmm. And I want citations.
Yeah. I want illustrations as well.
Diagrams, can't forget those.
And I want it to be published, like
professionally.
Yeah, professionally published. And you need to sell at least 100 copies in bookstores before we read it.
And it needs to be peer reviewed.
Yes.
By us. We are your peers.
That's the only time we'll read it though, until it gets 100 sales.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've organized this. So viewers, you have your homework. This is a threat. You must follow through.
Yeah.
You have your homework, class. Get to it.
Or else you're not getting the job you wanted.
Else I'm taking your lunchtime. This is your time you're wasting.
Exactly. You're not leaving this classroom until you finish your homework, young man or woman, or whatever gender you are nowadays, because it's 2022.
That's a
have blue hair and pronouns. You have to do this.
If you have green hair and one pronoun, you have to do this.
You know what? If you have hair, you have to do this. Who cares about the pronouns?
You know, Finn, that's pretty heterosexual of you.
You mean heterosexual?
Yeah, that's pretty heterosexual of you.
Oh my god.
Finn's actually the straightest one here.
Oh yeah, fully.
Yeah.
You can't get straighter than Finn.
Yeah,
Finn is so straight, comes back full circle.
We've just completely diverged from this.
Yeah.
About writing an essay about Paradise PD and Finn being straight.
Anyway, let's get back on to this.
I have an oddball theory.
Go on.
Okay. You know that anonymous source, quote unquote?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Friedrich.
Oh yeah.
Is
He
it?
staged his own disappearance so that he can start a life anew at age 23. He got into a box of being a pilot, and he's invested so much money into his passion that then he realized he didn't love it anymore. He didn't love that thrill of gliding through the air. He didn't love that thrill anymore. And so he decided, starting you.
He could have just, not tried to fake his own death and...
He didn't fake his own death, he faked his own disappearance. There is a difference. People are still looking for him, probably.
Probably.
He got some sort of hovering flying green light up in the sky that no one would have noticed beforehand.
No.
And for some reason can disappear. That apparently another person saw.
No. That he is the witness. There was no hovering green light. There was no aircraft in the sky.
So I think I'm about to blow this theory out of the water.
He was
just like Friedrich.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
He said he crashed into the water, though.
Exactly. That's why he got blown out of it.
Blown into the water.
By a light gust of wind. He was a very light man.
Yes, he was paper thin.
He was actually Flat Stanley. This is the origin stories of Flat Stanley.
After the plane crash, he jumped out of the plane, forgot his parachute, and flattened on the ground, and he became Flat Stanley.
No corkboard squashed him. It was a plane.
Yeah. Falling from thousands of feet.
Anyway, 6 weeks after Friedrich's disappearance, amateur photographer Roy Manifold came forward. First of all, Roy Manifold, great name.
I know, that's
Manifold.
I've said this in previous episodes, but that's a powerful name.
A powerful name.
What, Roy Manifold?
Roy Manifold.
I just think of a car.
Exactly, powerful.
Like a car.
I mean...
I think of
Sure.
What? I think of a 50-year-old billionaire with just a really nice mustache, and he's it's got grey hair. I don't know.
Hello there, my name is Roy Manifold. Welcome to my manor.
I think of Edward.
He smokes incredibly expensive cigars.
If I'm thinking of someone rich in a manor, I'm thinking Edward Dickinson. I don't know why, but it just sounds like it'd be a posh name.
Edward Dickinson?
Yeah, pretty much. He'd twirl his mustache and be like, "Hello, good sir. My name is Edward Dickinson."
Alright, so Roy Manifold came forward 6 weeks after the disappearance. He claimed that on the evening he had set up a camera at Cape Otway, planning to take pictures of the... Cape Otway. Planning to take pictures of the... Cape Otway! Yeah! Planning to take pictures of the sunset. In the last picture, there was a black spot in the upper right corner. At first, he believed it to be a developing error. However, a photo examiner found no dirt or damage on the negative. The strange mark was determined to be in the photograph. American photo analysts determined that it was a metallic object, apparently in a cloud of exhaust.
How can you tell that black dot is a metallic object?
Yeah.
You got photo analysts. Analysts.
Yeah,
but how,
even in a photo, how are you
analyzing this photo to determine it's metallic?
So say you put a black dot on this screen. You just go on Photoshop, you put a black dot on that screen, you give it to someone, and they're like, "That's metallic."
You know what? At this point in the episode, you know what you're gonna do right now, Finn? You're gonna Photoshop in a black dot over your podcast logo, and the viewers are gonna have to comment at what time they see this black dot.
What I'll have to do is I'll have to get a picture of something, shrink it down to such a small level, and they're like, "Is that a metallic object or is it a picture of a panda?"
Or is it a picture of a panda?
Yes. That's the viewer's other homework. It's their extra credit. Can you guess correctly?
If I remember to do that, I'll definitely do it.
First person to guess to give us the exact time that the dot pops up. You might get a chance to be on the podcast.
What?
And you don't have to write. You get a discount of 25,000 words off of your thesis.
Yeah. But you still have to sell 100 copies.
And you get the right to subscribe.
They already have the right to subscribe. You don't want to take that away from them.
Oh, right. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
And leave a 5-star review on iTunes.
Or on YouTube if it was 2007.
Yeah.
We'll reveal what the image is in the next episode, so stay tuned.
Good thing this one is being released first and not third. So, apparently this metallic object in a cloud of exhaust was a mile from the camera. The Kodak lab in Coburg studied the negative and reported no problem with the emulsion or the development of the negative, so it couldn't have been doctored or anything like that.
I think it was. I think this has something to do with the Soviets.
Oh, Christ. That's the other thing that keeps being brought up.
I was waiting for it.
It's either Soviets or Nazis, so...
Look, if you think about it, Soviets were way more advanced than everyone else.
Yeah.
That's puny capitalists.
So they probably could have had something that could disappear. We don't know. We don't know what they hide in their nuclear missile silos. And they have the emus.
Missiles.
They have the emus there already. So the emus are giving them
I like how I'm recently, because I'm currently working towards putting clips of this on TikTok for advertising. But I went through to get a clip of the Soviet emus. It's 2 sentences, and they're not even one of them is at the 20-minute mark, and the other one is one of the last sentences of the episode. I couldn't just grab that. Soviet emus were very briefly mentioned, and Sky is the person who thought that was hilarious enough to make us remember it.
You just got to bring all the mentions of the Soviet and make it just 1 shot clip on TikTok of just Soviets for everything.
It's all it's going to be is one of you say.
1 year anniversary, make a compilation of all and Nazi mentions.
All it's going to be is just one of you saying, my theory is the Soviets, and me just going, Christ.
The 1 year anniversary podcast episode, we all go in and you have a theory for the Soviets.
I don't have any plans for... I do have a plan for the 1 year anniversary being a Q&A, but that is if I, have an audience by then to give me cues to give A's to.
Yeah. If not, then we'll do the 1 year anniversary, just a theory on Soviets.
Yeah.
With everyone.
Might I just say, I love how even after the dissolution of the USSR, we continue to reference Soviets as the cause for everything.
Yeah.
The
USSR was... This is 78. USSR was still up and running.
Yeah, but there's been theories since the 70s that we've just been like Soviets.
Actually, let's Mothman, you thought it was Soviets. That was the 60s. Fair.
Yeah.
I think Voynich was labeled as the Soviets. That was in the. That was in the 1600s.
It was like the Soviets. There's something.
No, they were probably time traveling.
Same with Haska.
Yeah.
Soviets.
Thought it was the
The
Soviets.
Ericsson twins. Soviets.
Yeah.
I think Circleville letters. Soviets.
I'm pretty sure in the hotel room one.
Yeah, Defin 348. That's Soviets. That's the one where they get shot in the balls.
Yeah.
Spoilers for that episode.
Yeah, I
Fucking.
that one. You didn't want me to do that one because I knew all about it.
Yeah. Yogsi, I think you said was Soviets.
Yeah,
That's the only one where I'm like, yeah, it could be Soviets because it's in Soviet Russia.
I think alligators in the sewer. I think Josh and I mentioned Soviets saying that they might have put stuff in the water to make alligators gigantic.
I think everyday chemistry. Someone said that was Soviets. Probably Madeline.
You probably Madeline.
I think Jersey Devil. You said was Soviets.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
I think Comp Saint Germain was also Soviets. Not vampires, Soviets. Gee. Fordlandia, another one where I could recognize the fact that it might be Soviets. Nope.
The ones where it might be Soviets, we don't mention Soviets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too obvious. It's too obvious.
Yeah. It's like you're baiting us at that point, and we're like, no.
Well, this is set in Soviet Russia. No, it's not Soviet.
It's a little carrot and a stick, where one of the carrot is just set in Soviet Russia, and you just don't take the bait. It's the stick that you require, where it's not set in Soviet Russia.
And then you're like, okay, this place is not set in Soviet Russia.
It's the Soviets.
It's the Soviets, man.
Why would Soviets be involved in their own country? They obviously want to be involved in not Soviet Russia. That's why.
All right. Let's go on to some of the theories. All right. I have two main theories for you guys today. One of them being the UFO theory, the other one being the he crashed theory. So, to say Valentich was obsessed with UFOs would be putting it mildly. He wasn't just convinced of their existence, he was also convinced that they would soon attack Earth.
Of course.
Some believe he got too close to the truth and was abducted. While it might seem a bit out of this world, eyewitnesses allege that something else was out there that night on his disappearance, which we've already discussed. A farmer in Cape Otway said about the night before, it's got a green light and it's sort of metallic. It's all shiny on the outside and it just vanished. Nope, that is the thing from the transcript. I'm awesome at my job.
Good job. Doing great.
I labelled stuff correctly.
We kept Finn up late and had to stop him from writing this, by the way.
Yeah, you did. I finished writing this at like 12:30 last night.
We kind
This
of
morning, we haven't even reached it.
we were like annoying Josh a lot.
Yeah, we were. That was fun. So yeah, the following morning, a farmer in Cape Otway observed a flying object hovering over his property. The object was approximately 30 meters across and appeared to have a small aeroplane attached to its side. According to the farmer, the attached airplane was leaking oil. He was so disturbed by what he saw that he etched the aircraft's tail number into one of his tractors so he wouldn't forget. The number matched Valentich's Cessna.
Do we have evidence he scratched it in? Or is
Nope.
he just being one of those people that come forward and they're like, I saw stuff.
Did you just look up?
Well, it's apparently evidence of two planes that have apparently seen a green UFO.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it's just the sun peeking through the clouds, to be honest.
I think that's just a painting.
A painting? Says
look at
two
that
planes
photo.
report bright green UFO swooping through the clouds.
Yeah, but look at that water. That's a painting.
100%.
I think that's just an interpretation.
You know, water can look pretty nice, okay.
Here is a map of where he was supposed to fly. And he disappeared around where the bend is.
Why was he flying over that? It says not. That's just suicide in a nutshell. There you go. That's what he was seeing.
Of course.
Oh, I found the one with the black dot, the black smudge.
Oh! Send it,
Okay.
send it.
Sent.
Okay, now tell me, how do you identify that as
my
metallic?
God, that's a fucking fly on the fucking camera.
It is.
Look, but no, can't you see? Actually, I can see it a bit. Like
I can see
metallic object in a cloud of exhaust. Metallic object, cloud of exhaust.
No,
I just
I'm
see it
sorry.
fly.
That
I see that
way
thing.
stretch.
like-
That is a fly.
The kind of lighter part could be the fly's wings.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And the fly's been a bit roughed up. That's why there's a hole that it's a bit brighter in the wing. That's a fly.
Other than that one.
Oh yeah, here's a coloured version, not sepia.
I don't know. I quite like the sepia.
Hello.
That's a
It's a
fly.
fly.
Even more obviously a fly.
You could not say that as metallic.
That's not exhaust either. Exhaust would be see-through at the edges. That's just a fly's body. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's. but But officer, it's clearly a mile away. That's what my Kodak people told me.
Well,
And not
officer,
only
the
that,
guy at
but
the store told me it was a metallic object.
With a cloud of exhaust.
in the colored version, they didn't even put any green in it.
I didn't see it. My camera caught it. I clearly wasn't looking. I didn't see it in the distance.
Yeah, why didn't he see it either? That's
It's
so...
a fucking fly.
It's a fly.
Are they thinking that's a fucking plane flying or something? Like,
There's
they
no
can't see the
plane shape.
UFO.
There's literally not even a plane shape in that.
I want to meet these people who said that's a metallic object with a cloud of exhaust.
Oh,
Jesus.
I want to see the professionals that verified this. Have they not seen a photo exhaust in their life? There would be lighter parts and dark parts. There wouldn't be this solid black blob the shape of a fly. It just... get this out of my sight.
It's ridiculous.
Very pretty.
Getting them out of your sight for you. There
Thank
you go.
Yeah. That's kind of irritating me. Like that's a metallic object.
With a cloud of exhaust. It's a fucking fly.
Fly.
You were trying to defend them before, Finn.
It was. I like to just try to defend them.
Try to give them benefit of the
Until
doubt.
you see their photo.
Yeah.
No. That's a fly.
That's 100% a fly.
All right, let's get on to the second major, the last major theory, he crashed theory.
Oh no, really? Whoa.
Oh, I never would have
Calm
guessed
down.
that.
This theory is not going to be true.
No.
Oh,
No
no.
way.
It was the Soviets.
100% Soviets.
Valentich was an eager young pilot with grand goals for his aviation career.
Under the influence of shrooms.
Unfortunately, it didn't seem such a career was ever going to happen for him. He was rejected by the Australian Air Force twice.
Oh, no.
He recently failed his second attempt at passing the commercial flight exam.
Oh, no. Friedrich. Oh.
So this was a suicide attempt.
Sorry.
In his 150 flight hours, he had been involved in 3 in-flight incidents. Once
Okay, this isn't helping him out here.
Once where he entered restricted airspace, and twice when he deliberately flew into clouds.
He entered restricted airspaces about Friedrich.
And he was under threat of prosecution for the cloud thing.
Oh my
How
god.
dare you fly through the clouds?
Well,
That's illegal.
I think it's like extremely dangerous because it obscures vision and stuff like that.
That
you
says I
might
can't
feel
go
like
that high.
plane.
All that, yeah.
Okay, you've just added more weight to my theory that he's just staged his disappearance. He's hired some photographer to pass off a fly as a flying aircraft.
Okay.
And he paid off a farmer to etch his tail number into his tractor.
But if
Yes.
if they ever do find the aircraft, they'll find an empty Ziploc bag which has the scent of shrooms.
Yes.
It's just weed. He
No,
was high as a Cessna. You could
no, but
almost.
he has to be hallucinating something.
No, he was making all that up. He's under threat of prosecution. He's been you know how much money it would take to be flying for 150 hours? That is an investment.
Yeah.
And he just wants to run because he's under threat of prosecution. Has been turned down from the Royal Australian Air Force twice. He's failed his flying test.
I was turned down.
Nice.
I was turned down from the army, so kind of yeah.
And he's
Makes
entered
sense.
restricted flying zones. This
Only
big
once.
way.
And it was an accident, so.
Allegedly.
Alright, so flying over water in the setting sun can be disorientating for even the best of pilots, never mind someone with Valentich's history. Instead of focusing on critical flight tasks, he instead seemed distracted by the fanciful delusions of a UFO. While the 4 lights he observed above him could have belonged to another aircraft, it's more likely they were the lights of Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the star Antares.
Sorry?
The lights he saw were more than likely Mercury, Venus, Mars, and a star called Antares.
I don't know how bright
don't-
the stars you see are.
Yeah.
But I don't mistake them from being just above my aircraft and green.
Okay,
I don't fucking know.
hear me out. This theory.
It's
Right.
bullshit.
Well, no, this crash theory is highly plausible.
Yeah,
If we're thinking out of the same point of view.
Oh yeah, if we're thinking logically.
But
yeah.
I think that this was an elaborate suicide.
Yeah, probably as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
To make people, so it was to make people think, right, what happened to him? So he was remembered in a way
Mm.
I mean,
to have people keep
it works.
investigating it.
Yeah.
But
idiots like us are investigating it.
at the end of the day, he pretty much wasn't really getting anywhere.
Mm.
Yeah. In 23, you
With the
feel
amount
like
of-
the
yeah.
whole
With the amount
world's
of
on you.
hours he was flying as well, and he was getting prosecuted, and he couldn't get what he wanted to do. He couldn't get into the Air Force. He couldn't get into commercial flights or anything like that.
Mm.
He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make myself a supernatural mystery because then I'll be remembered.
I mean,
And
that's how I
some
want
British
to go.
guy and 2 Australians are going to be talking about me in many years' time.
I suspect that in about 40-something years, 44
43.
years,
43.
yeah, 43
Wait.
and a bit. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
40,
we're in 2022. 40,
yeah.
40.
No, 43 and a bit. It was October that he crashed. So, in 43 years, 2 people on this thing called a podcast are going to
Did you
just be
2 people?
3.
Three.
2 people and the host are going to be. Anyway,
Wait, does that mean you're not a person?
no, I'm British.
You're not
Two
a
people,
person called that?
2 people and the host and this fucking bot called Craig.
Fucking robot.
Fucking Craig.
Never
It
wrong
must
us
still be
again,
recorded.
Craig. So, according to his transmission, Valentich began circling his aircraft at some point. In a bank, it's possible he fell victim to... What the fuck did I write?
So victim. Or I don't know what you're reading.
Anyway, became disorientated. He could have entered a graveyard spiral or even become inverted. The green light he observed was likely his own being reflected off the water. Given the gravity-fed fuel system of his Cessna, his engine would have quickly been deprived of fuel, explaining why his transition at the end sounded rough.
Yeah.
So,
This is sounding very plausible.
Tilted horizon illusion could be a plausible theory.
Mm.
Because apparently the ocean is meant to mimic the sky. So let's bring it up. Tilted
towers. Oh,
Tilted towers.
I like Fortnite.
Number 50.
Fortnite.
Burger King foot lettuce.
The last thing you want in your Burger King burger is foot lettuce, but that might just be the thing you get.
Have you seen Smiling Friends yet?
No.
It's really good.
I've seen some things. Yeah.
And Chills actually makes a cameo on it. So,
Chills.
I can't bring anything in the tilted horizon illusion, but he was orbiting the object, right?
Yeah.
And he probably would have ended up somewhat
Tilting
going
himself
close to upside down, but he wouldn't have known because he was focusing on the object. So then once he looks back, what he's seeing is the ocean, which he thinks is the sky, and the sky, which he thinks is the ocean, because of how it kind of mimics it.
Yeah.
And depending on how far he is from it, the ocean's a lot more calmer the further you go sometimes, depending on storms and stuff like that. So he could have thought that he was flying up, but he was flying down.
Yeah.
And then he eventually hit the ocean, probably. If not the plane running out of fuel before then. That
Can I
reminds
just say,
me of
the Tilted Horizon illusion sounds like it'd be a great synthwave band.
yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of nitrogen narcosis, which happens when divers go too deep with just regular air in their tanks, and they become intoxicated because of the levels of nitrogen in their blood, and it's like they're drunk, and they do things like take out their mouthpiece. They swim in cases of cave diving. They'll swim into false chimneys, thinking that they're the way to the exit, and they'll just end up drowning.
So it's a bit like in cold climates, paradoxical undressing.
When
where they
like
get so cold that they believe that they're hot and start stripping.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he was very distracted by this UFO from what the transcripts say,
or fly, as we've established. It's just a fly in his cockpit.
Large fly in the sky.
And like with the photo of like the fly and all that, the seems like it would be kind of calm enough to be able to.
Yeah, if that was taken on the same day,
that Tilted Horizon theory plausible. So that could be a theory on a serious note of things.
Yeah,
but on an unserious note of things, it's definitely so.
Yeah. Well, I think we've covered all possible theories from
possible,
yeah,
possible
theories. So, unless anyone else got any quips to add before I put you back in the basement,
what's your theory that you?
I reckon that he just got disorientated, probably with the tilted horizon illusion, but he somehow got disorientated, flipped the fuel drain from his tank, and he crashed into the ocean, never to be seen or heard from again. Boring, but it's what I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most likely theory.
Yeah,
but we're not about the most likely. It's clearly the Soviets.
It's clearly that he staged his own disappearance and
to
started
join the Soviet Union.
That was his. Oh my god, no! He got turned down from the Royal Australian Air Force so many times
that he decided to join the Soviets.
The Soviets offered, and he was like, "Yes, but I'm Australian.
Anything."
Stage my own appearance and say that I'm Russian now.
Yes,
we've got it figured out, guys.
Yep,
Das Vidania, comrades and whatnot. All right. Well, with that, I've been Finn.
I don't want to go back to the basement.
You have to go back in. And I've been Talitha.
See you next week on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.